The house didn't feel haunted, it felt alive. The house didn't feel haunted, it felt alive. Not in the way people talk about ghosts and whispers. It felt like something inside it was breathing, watching, waiting. I realized this the very first night we moved in. My name is Arjun. 3 months ago, my parents decided to leave the city and return to our ancestral village after my father lost his job. The city had become too expensive, too crowded, and too cruel to families like ours who were just trying to survive. When my father lost his position at the factory, we had no savings left. The only option was the village. The village was small, isolated, and wrapped in endless sugarcane fields that whispered in the wind like living things. Narrow mud roads twisted between half-collapsed houses and old temples. Very few people live there permanently now. Most had moved to the city, leaving behind locked doors and broken windows that stare at the road like blind eyes. The house we moved into had been abandoned for more than 12 years. It was cheap, too cheap. The villagers told us an old woman had died there. No family, no heirs, no paperwork problems. It was as if the house itself wanted new people to come inside. But they also gave us one strange warning. Do not stay awake inside after midnight. My father laughed it off. He said villagers loved making stories to scare outsiders. He believed ghosts were for people who had too much time and too little education. On our first night, I woke up at exactly 12:41 a.m., not because of noise, but because the room felt crowded. The air was thick and sticky, pressing against my skin like invisible hands. It felt as if someone else was breathing in my face, slow and deep, but when I looked around, there was no one. I opened my eyes. The ceiling fan had stopped. The silence felt heavy. Then I heard slow footsteps outside my room, bare feet, dragging. The sound moved like someone tired, injured, or carrying something heavy. I sat up in bed and whispered, "Ma?" No answer. The footsteps stopped right outside my door. The handle did not move. Then came a soft whisper, "Come outside." It was a woman's voice. Low, calm, close. So close that I could feel her breath against the door. My heart pounded violently. My mouth went dry. I froze. I did not move. After several seconds, it felt like hours. The footsteps slowly dragged away down the corridor, disappearing into the darkness. The next morning, my mother complained that her bangles had cracked during the night. She said she had not hit them against anything. My father said it was old glass. But I noticed something else. There were faint red footprints near the kitchen doorway. They vanished near the wall, as if someone had walked into it. That afternoon, I met a village boy named Mohit. He was about my age and sold vegetables in the small market. He asked where we were staying. When I told him the house number, his face went pale. "That house," he said slowly. "Did you see a woman there?" "No." He swallowed hard. "You will." That night, I stayed awake. At exactly 12:41 a.m., the house creaked. The walls groaned as if something heavy was shifting inside them. The hallway temperature dropped suddenly, making my skin crawl. Then I saw her. She stood at the end of the corridor. Long black hair fell over her shoulders like wet ropes. Her feet were bare and stained dark. A faded red sari hung loosely on her thin body. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark like dying embers. She tilted her head unnaturally to one side. "You came back," she whispered. My lungs refused to work. I couldn't breathe. She smiled and faded into the wall, melting into the plaster as if it were water. The next morning, my mother said she dreamed of a woman sitting on her chest, pressing her throat. My father said the house smelled like burning oil. Things got worse. We began hearing footsteps during the day, whispers inside empty rooms, doors closing on their own, objects moving from one place to another, mirrors cracked without being touched. And every single thing happened at exactly 12:41 a.m. I finally went to the village priest. He turned pale when I told him the house number. "That is Atmika's house," he whispered. He told me the truth. Atmika had been a young woman who lived there years ago. Her husband left her. The village men harassed her, humiliated her, and blamed her for her husband's departure. She begged for help. No one helped. One night, she locked herself inside and burned herself alive. But she didn't leave. Her soul fused with the house. "She doesn't haunt it," the priest whispered. "She is it." That night, my mother disappeared. We found her standing in the kitchen, staring at the wall. "She wants me to stay," she said calmly. Her shadow moved in the wrong direction. Her eyes looked empty. Atmika was inside her. The lights burst. Doors slammed violently. A woman's voice screamed from the walls. "You took my life. Now I will take yours." My mother's voice changed into Atmika's. My father was thrown across the room. I ran. Behind me, the house laughed. By morning, the house was silent. No one was inside, just my mother's bangles, cracked, and red footprints leading into the walls. People say the house is still standing, and if someone enters, they never leave alone, because Atmika is always waiting. And now I hear her breathing behind me,